back to the Argent Sagaverse. My name is Adam, and on this fateful Friday here at Argos Anonymous, we're going to talk about alpha starter decks. So, what is an alpha deck? Maybe you've heard about these alpha cards, right? And they're interesting. They're kind of neat. These things came out before the game actually released in August 2019, right? So before that, before they had these, this is a traditional starter deck that you can get. There's one for each element. This is the water starter deck, which if you're a new player, by the way, this is all you need to start playing Argent Saga. It has everything you need. It has a little paper, like a paper play mat. It's got the rules in there. It's got all the cards you need. Pick up a starter deck, you're ready to go. So then what's an alpha deck? They're cool, and I thought I would just kind of show you guys what they are and then do a side-by-side comparison of actually opening both of these up to show you the difference, because they're kind of neat. Now, an alpha deck doesn't come with instructions, and it doesn't come with the paper playmat, but all of the other cards are identical alternate art variants. So every card that you would get in a traditional starter deck or intro deck, you will also get in an alpha deck. You'll just get it in like a prototype variant art form. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at some examples. So this is a Great Hawk of the Cloud Sea. This is a card that comes in the Air starter deck. And this is the Great Hawk of the Cloud Sea that comes in the Alpha Demo deck. So Alpha Demo decks, by the way, if you like what you see, like if you like this kind of concept art, you can still buy these. You'll find these on TCG Player for pretty much the same price as an alpha deck or as a regular intro deck. So if you're gonna pay like 15 to 20 bucks for an intro deck, you could also pay 15 to 20 bucks for an alpha demo deck, with the exception of the dark demo deck. I assume because the Hoenna art looks like awesome, and some of the Golem art looks awesome. This, for example, is a Hellish Guardhound from the dark alpha deck versus the intro deck. This intro deck art is really fantastic. This alpha deck art is like the concept art. Anyway, these cost more. For whatever reason, I guess because they're popular, the alpha dark decks now are like maybe 35 to 40 bucks, but the other ones are still 20 bucks. So if you want to buy another starter deck, just keep in mind you can get the alpha decks if you want to spice things up, and they're not going to cost you any more money. So just go grab one of these and you're good to go. So what should we do? Should we open it? Should we crack it open and show you what's what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just dive on in. Now, if you're a veteran player, or even been in the game for a little bit, you've probably seen all this. But if you weren't around there at the beginning, it's not like these alpha decks got a big fanfare or anything, and they've basically disappeared from a lot of places. So maybe you don't know. Anyway, maybe you don't know what they are. Now you're going to have so much wisdom going into your weekend. Won't that be fun? So you'll notice, okay, so once you get past all the packaging of a normal intro deck, they look the same. The intro deck champion has this sort of heavy, dark, full art foil, and the alpha demo deck brick has no foil cards. So that's the first thing you'll notice. They are labeled differently. The alpha demo deck cards actually say at the bottom of each card that it's like an alpha demo card. Now, don't let the word demo fool you. These are playable. The card stock is a little bit different, but they've been determined that they are playable. So if you wanted to play with your alpha, alternate art Jamail champion, you can do that. You'll notice, look at this card stock. Do you see the alpha demo deck card, although similar, feels different for sure. Like it definitely feels different, but it also has like a cross thatch pattern. Can you see that in the camera? See how the light shining on the back of the card highlights that? So normal Argent Saga cards don't have that, which is nice. I actually, although this card stock isn't terrible, the final card stock that Argent Saga went with is really, really nice, and so I'm glad that they switched to this final product card stock. Anyway, let's just crush through our decks here and show you dudes. Get a little cappuccino and slide up a chair and check these out. So there's your Alpha Jamail. We see in focus. I can't even hardly tell. Alpha Jamail is pretty cool. I like that look. This, by the way, this Alpha Jamail art was the very first metal card metal champion card ever handed out. There are I guess a little batch of Alpha Champion Metal Alpha Jamiles, and it's the only champion that was ever made, the only Alpha champion ever made into a metal. So that's kind of fun. Then what do we got? Fizzy. I like that black and white Fizz. This is pretty heavy foiling. So under this crazy, like, I don't want to say studio, under my ghetto YouTube lighting, it just really lights up. It's just kind of crazy. Anyway, you either love it or you hate it, I suppose. So the shards in an alpha deck, I guess, are they in a different place? I guess so. Okay, let's pull the shards out because the shards are kind of cool. Alpha shards, the way they did it, is whatever starter deck you're opening up, whatever alpha demo deck you're opening up, the shards are basically all black and white, except they did ink in the color for the shard that is the element of the deck. So since this is a water deck, the shards in the water deck have like a, you have the water shard, which is cool. And then if you were to open up alpha decks of other elements, if you open up like an alpha light deck, you've got the light shard, and you've got the fire shard and darkness shard, and then there's the air shard, and that's kind of cool. And then this is a normal shard. See where they're all lit up. This would be a non-alpha shard, and then in your alpha shards you get to pick your element. So if you like that, you could splice these into your light deck and have dedicated light shards. None of that other janky mixed up shenanigans. Whereas the standard intro deck just has this one foil oh, that's what's going on. The foil's in the front. It's got that foil standard shard, and then it just has normal shards in the back. You're going to have enough shards to play the game. And then, of course, your standard intro deck has the 5 basic towers. Nothing fancy there, just the normal stuff. And then the intro towers are basically not inked. Like some of them are like this. Like, see how this Tower of Air is basically the same? It's just black and white. Fine, but some of them are concept art. I guess actually the other 4 are all concept art, which is kind of cool. Like this Darkness Tower concept art compared to the final. I mean, the final art is beautiful, but it is kind of neat. It's kind of neat seeing the different stages of the artwork. This fire tower, sort of a concept art fire tower, is cool. Same for the light tower before they refined it and finished it and colored it up. And then that concept art water tower. Look at the difference here. Pretty significant difference. They even changed the orientation. Like on the final water tower, it's facing one way, and then this one's facing the other way. They added waterfalls. They changed the bridge. It's cool. Like, it's cool seeing this. They do this for a lot of cards. They have the artist submit like concept work, and then they'll pick the final versions. So these alpha demo decks just have a lot of kind of cool stuff. Some of them are really similar, like this Azure Guardian. If we can get it to come into focus, there we go. See that? Like, what's the difference? This guy's blurry, I guess. That's fine. But some of them are really different, like this Azure Seer. Classic card. She was the art on the first booster set, Betrayal, was the Azure Seer art. Beautiful artwork. And this concept art is so interesting because, look, they the demo, she had a cross, and she's like a little bit more conservative, and then they must have switched the cross out for some cleavage, the old cross to cleavage technique. Yeah, there you go. We gotta sell some boxes. How do you sell boxes? This is how you sell boxes. And they made her a redhead. Look at that. I mean, they really changed it. Man, they fired her up. I love the final artwork, but it's really cool seeing where it came from. That's cool. A bunch more like water splashing around on the edges. Ah, yeah, that redhead's pretty cool. Hats off to you redheads. I'm intimidated. Now this one's just they just inked it. Cryptic Deflection looks like. They just inked it. And then, but look, see, here's another concept art. That's cool. The Force Blast. So the intro deck there. I don't know. I like them. What do you think? Put it in the comments. What do you think? Do you like the alpha demo deck concept? Wow, this one's really different. Or do you not? Do you like, which cardstock do you like? Do you like if you've held the alpha demo cardstock, do you like it? I can't imagine you'd like it more than the final cardstock. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Look at this great Stormfish. This is like, man, that is really different. I mean, here they have like an octopus sort of beast thing in the wave, and then here in the alpha demo card, it's just completely different. That's cool. I like that. So they must have looked at that, and then they probably looked at a couple different variants, and just decided to go one way or the other way. This one's just inked in, not very different. Here it's just penciled in. This is like if I trained to be an artist my whole life. This is about as good as I would ever get. On the right, not on. This is way beyond me. But maybe I could make some stick figures, make it onto a demo deck card, and then pass it over to somebody with some talent. Finish it up. What do we got here? Ayakuma, Storm Knight, Black and White Storm Knight. So they like to capitalize on old phrasing, right? We all know alpha magic. A lot of new games will do that. They'll be like, "This is the alpha," and then people jump on it. Here's the deal with these though. They're not randomized. These alpha demo decks are not randomized. And whenever you have a non-randomized product, it's a great product. There's good cards in here, but long term, these will be I think a cool novelty. But they're not gonna you can't get a Black Lotus in it or anything, right? So it's not like an alpha starter deck with magic. This is just a prepackaged everything you need to play for Argent Saga. And they're all the same. They all have the exact same cards. Wow, this one's different too. Look at that. Mayu's assistant. There's some cool lore on Mayu. They're all kind of wicked, actually. I don't know what I was thinking when I saw the game at first. I was like, oh, there's some kind of cool art and things are a little cute. And then you read into the lore and you see the cards a little bit and you're like, oh my god. These people are pretty spicy. All right, so we're getting close to the end here. Phantasmal Guards is a pretty essential water spell. This is one of the reasons you'd want to pick up a water starter deck, actually, is because you can't get Phantasmal Guards, I don't think anyway, from a booster set. Correct me if I'm wrong, put that in the comments, but this is a really popular water spell because it goes along with Jamail's ability. Jamail, of course, where is he? Jamail has the ability, we can't see him because of the foiling. Let's pull the alpha. Jamail has the ability where you place a counter on him whenever you have a water unit that comes into play, and Phantasmal Guards creates 2 water units and puts them into play. So it's an instant 2 counters for only 1 card and for only 1 cost, which is nice. So do you like the concept art? They almost look like little pumpkin heads or something. These guys are much more frightening. These guys are almost kind of goofy. But I love it. I love that it's a sketch and that they kept it, similar, but really, really upped the quality for the final production, which is, I guess, what you would want to do. This one's, I guess, the same, except they just inked it. That Shard Hoarder. And what's left? Shards of Winter is very similar, isn't it? Very similar, but a little bit different. Very similar, a little bit different. Black and white. Is there no color in that? Yeah, I guess no color. Just looks like ice. And, oh my goodness, Storm. Wow. Look at this guy. They changed him a lot. You know why? Because I think this is a real dude. This is one of those cards that they turn into an actual person. So wow, so they must have done the concept art and then gave the artist a photo of the person it's supposed to look like. And then said, here you go, turn into that guy. And then they did. That's cool. That's kind of cool. All right, so that's interesting to sort of guess at the process of how this all comes to be. Okay, here's another example of if I were an artist, of approximately the quality of art that I'd be able to produce, and then an actual artist over here on the left. The Stormfish. Okay, cool. Cool concept art. Cool. And that's it. All right, dude. So that's just an example of the water deck. Every element has their own alpha demo deck. Again, with the exception of Hoenna, they all cost pretty much the same as a typical intro deck. So if you already have the instructions that come with one intro deck, go on TCG Player or maybe eBay, I don't know, or ask around, and you should be able to get these alpha decks with playable, kind of cool, interesting cards for about the same price. Yeah, and enjoy that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Put it in the comments. If you have any of your own insight, put it in the comments. And that's all I got. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Showcases are coming up. Check it out. Live events are kicking back in. We have metal, kites, all over the place. They're going to be presented as prizing at the November in-person showcases. Bring your own mask. Be safe. Watch the Rona. Have fun. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your cards. Argos out.